I have to say I'm coming from another CUNY event, from the Calandra Institute, and we had the inauguration of an exhibition on Garibaldi at the Italian American Museum. So you see how many events are there in the same time, and how much we need to have an instrument, to have a medium to inform and to try to connect us and to make better use of our time and give us ideas and organize ourselves. So I think this is something that we were really waiting for, and that's why it's particularly welcome. So I thank you very much for all you have done to give birth to such a new instrument for all, not only the Italian American community, but also Italians living in New York, but especially I think Americans interested in Italy and Americans who will be interested in Italy and in Italian American culture.
I think we all feel that our origins, our sources, our sustenance comes from the mother country, and this project is certainly an innovative example of how I think both sides of the ocean can work together and reach new heights together.
In 1941, Italian Americans were enjoined by the government of the United States to stop speaking Italian because it had become the language of the enemy. In one day, on December 11, 1941, Italian Americans became enemy aliens, and Italian culture became an enemy culture. And that has produced a kind of a wound, really a kind of a systematic gangrene almost in our culture that I have been examining as a kind of an endless pathology for the last 30 years. And a key element in it is that Italian Americans, as you all know perfectly well, really did stop speaking Italian. I learned Italian I was over the age of 40 when I learned Italian, and it was an act of really main force. It wasn't easy. Italian Americans speak English. They communicate in English, they write in English, and they understand English. Nonetheless, if you read the standard organs of literary and cultural production in the United States, we don't exist. You can read the New York Times Sunday Book Review every Sunday, and if you find more than 2 Italian American authors ever reviewed in that magazine, then that is a red letter day. Open a bottle of Prosecco. We don't know what we're doing, and we don't know who we are. Now, Risorgimento, you know, is only a metaphor, but it's a good metaphor in this instance, because we are dispersi, we are frammentati, we are all over the place. They're already, just in doing the research to construct this site, they have discovered thousands, tens of thousands of Italian American videos and blogs that nobody really ever thought of under that rubric.
This new technology, the multimedia system, is really the future. We as a newspaper are interested in these new techniques, these new technologies. This is really multimedia will help everybody, will also help our newspaper.
Basically, this is something that I've been trying to work on my whole life, having been born and raised in Chicago and never connecting to the community of New York until 10 years ago when I moved here. So for me, this is a lifelong journey into what I call a virtual piazza. I went to my grandfather's hometown for the first time back when I was 26 years old and became what I call a born-again Italian. I realized that if I wanted to know anything that was happening in that neighborhood, in that town, in Grotta di Castellana, I had to go to the piazza. You know, what's going on? I don't know, go to the piazza. I don't know, he's in the piazza, they're in the piazza. And to me, this is a virtual piazza that I've been waiting for my whole life, and it gives me a great honor to contribute whatever I can to it, and to use it as a teaching tool. As a professor at Stony Brook University of Italian American Studies, my students will now have assignments that, if they get cleared, will post. So you have the interns, we have the students, we can create a world in this new virtual piazza.